In terms of economic and investment performance under this period, we have reviewed and we have come up with a full program and a full report that I said is accessible. However, the highlights are as follows. A primary budget surplus was achieved. South Africa's exit from the Financial Action Task Force grey list has improved investor confidence. Business confidence remains subdued at 39 points, largely due to logistics constraints and energy cost, but there is improvement. Recommendations, of course, that we have given are long, but the highlights part of them would be to accelerate Operation Vulindlela reforms to unblock logistics and energy bottlenecks, to strengthen investment facilitation capacity with the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, as well as Invest SA, to fast-track implementation of the updated public-private partnership framework to crowd in private capital, to expand competitive export incentives targeting high-growth manufacturing as well as agro-processing sectors. In fact, in terms of infrastructure development, we have come up with the following. We have said that, of course, as we all know, government has set aside 1.03 trillion for public infrastructure over the medium-term expenditure framework. The infrastructure fund has approved about 26 blended finance projects worth about 101.6 billion. The budget facility for infrastructure approved 10 major projects worth about 37.1 billion for implementation at the time when we did our review. Despite these momentous delays, we see delays still persisting due to municipal capacity constraints, procurement inefficiencies, as well as inadequate project preparation. High municipal debt levels that we have seen that rose to about 96.6 billion rands as at March 2025 pose risk for infrastructure sustainability. Grid expansion delays also threaten future energy security despite recent improvements. However, as I've already said during our persistent or our meetings with different ministers, especially the one where we are actually analyzing their performance, individual performance, it is very clear that we will be able to deal with this because there will be an inter-ministerial performance that we will be looking at that should be able to speak to this. In terms of recommendation for infrastructure development, we are saying that we need to strengthen Infrastructure South Africa project preparation facility to reduce delay and probably also increase more of this kind of institutions to be able to deal with this particular matter. We also need to implement a differentiated support model for capacity constrained municipalities, focusing on project management as well as engineering skills. We need to prioritize integrated infrastructure investment plan across energy, water, transport, as well as ICT. And of course, this, as we already said, can only be able to done better if ISA is functioning maximally. We need to expand use of blended finance to mobilize private sector participation in large infrastructure projects.